Okay, class, we're going to continue in our lecture of Chapter 1. Again, all this should serve as a recap for you from some previous undergraduate courses. So we're going to move on now into the musculoskeletal macrostructure and microstructure of the human body. So as you can see on the screen, we're going to examine the macrostructure of muscle specifically. Okay. Now, as you guys know, muscle creates movement by pulling on bones about a specific joint. So every joint, as discussed in the previous lecture on the skeletal system, has a specific range of motion. And so the muscles are what control that specific motion, whether it be extension, flexion, abduction, adduction. Those are all caused by the macrostructure of muscle. Okay. So a couple things that we need to recap, key definitions, are going to be origin, insertion. So origin, remind you, is towards the center of the body, or the more stationary position of the body. This is also known as proximal. Okay, so it's closer to the medial line of the body, whereas your insertion is further away from the center of the body or mobile structure, so distal. So it's further away from the midline, if you will. So origin, insertion, two key things you need to know, proximal, distal. Proximal meaning it's closer to the trunk, distal is further from the trunk. And two other definitions that I want to recap before we move on to the next slide, superior and inferior. Superior being closer to the head, inferior meaning closer to the feet. And so this is the basic macro structure, so macro meaning larger, of muscles themselves. But when we dive into the microstructure, muscle cells are often called muscle fibers. Okay, and so when we talk about our microstructures, as you can see in this diagram here, there's three types of connective tissue. You have the epimyosin, which is the outer layer. You have the perimyosin, which is the inner layer. This is surrounding the fasciculus and other groups of fibers. And then you have the endomyosin, which is going to be home of all of the smaller filaments that we talk about that actually cause muscle contraction, your actin, your myosin, your nebulin, your titin. And we'll dive into that here in a little bit. Okay, so again, to recap, your epimyosin is your outer layer, your perimyosin, those are your middle layer, if you will, and then your endo meaning in, surrounding the individual fibers were comprised of your sarcolemma, your sarcoplasm, your myofibril, and your myofilaments, your actin, your myosin. Okay, so what's important to remember is that each muscle fiber, okay, is surrounded by the endomyosin. So this is encircled, like I said, by the fiber's membrane, which is the sarcolemma. And all of the three different types of connective tissue, your epimyosin, perimyosin, and endomyosin, is contiguous with the tendon. So tension is developed in a muscle cell and transmitted to the tendon, to the bone, which causes the bone to move according to that specific movement, i.e., again, whether it be flexion, extension. But to neglect the neuromuscular part of the muscular system would not be good. So let's talk about the neuromuscular system here for a moment. And so you have these junctions between a motor neuron and a muscle fiber, as you can see here in this picture, which are called neuromuscular junctions. Okay. Each muscle cell has only one neuromuscular junction, even though there are single motor neurons that innervate many muscle fibers. And when I say innervate, activate, cause it to flex. The example that we use typically with that would be I touch a hot burn, my hand reacts. Well, that's due to a signal that's being sent from my brain to my hand to tell me, ow, that's hot. Let me remove my hand from that hot surface. Okay. But with a neuromuscular junction, like I said, the single motor neuron innervates many muscle fibers, sometimes hundreds or thousands. But a motor neuron and the muscle fiber it innervates, this is called the motor unit. Okay, the motor unit. So the motor unit itself is the motor neuron and the muscle fibers it innervates, as you can see on the picture on the left. That is a motor unit consisting of a motor neuron and the muscle fibers it innervates. And there's typically several hundred muscle fibers in a single